good.
Nice.
Boss man.
Shuttle the dust anyway.
Amen.
Of course, if it comes, you know, here down the other cheese, it comes all along. Yeah, I know. Yes, it hurts trying to breathe.
Are you up, ready, Don?
Yep.
Okay, I guess Carol is here, so we'll just go ahead and Julie, is that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and they are from CASA, right?
That's right. That's right. And we just wanted to meet with you today and ask you to sign a proclamation declaring April Child Abuse Prevention Month. It is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, and we participate every year in that. And so we're here to do that today. And do you have questions about, we have a CASA volunteer here from the Salina program, which is pretty awesome. So, do you live where?
I live here in Lincoln.
Well, how did they get you and I didn't?
I don't know.
That is not fair. I just talked to my daughter about that. But, 'cause my daughter runs the program there too, so, yeah, that's awesome. So you take cases in Minneapolis and Ottawa County?
In Salina.
It's fun. Terrific. That's great. We try to recruit here. We haven't had any luck getting any volunteers from Lincoln County, but we are close to finishing another training class, and there are 2 from Mitchell County. And they have indicated they would be willing to travel. So we're excited about that, because I know that we have been requested up here for cases, so we're trying. So we'll leave this with you for this year. Just to remind you that about children and children's issues. Does anyone have questions about what CASA is? Because there's a group here this morning. Are you familiar with CASA?
I'm not.
Okay. Well, it stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates. And we train volunteers to be advocates for kids who are in the court system because of abuse and neglect. And it's nationwide. In Kansas, we're divided into 31 judicial districts, and we're probably about 23, 24 have CASA programs, so it's very widespread. But there's not a lot in public about it because the work we do is confidential, so we don't talk about the kids and that type of thing. But the way our system is set up, it is not child friendly. It is not looking after the best interests of the child. And that's what CASA's try to do, is to, they go through an extensive training, extensive background checks, right? Background checks are horrendous. And once they have met all the requirements, then they're certified and they can be appointed by a judge, because the judge makes the decision as to whether or not he wants a CASA volunteer on a case. And the CASA's role is then to do an investigation that's independent from the other agencies that are involved. They get their own information from whoever has the information, but they get to know the child well, the family, know the circumstances going on. They talk to therapists, teachers, doctors, relatives, neighbors, anyone who has information about the child, and then they bring that information to the court in a form of a written report. Okay. And then the judge, what really happens is the judge has more information then to make decisions about their kids. And one of the things our CASA volunteers do is, about as soon as they're assigned to a case, they make a trip out to DCF. And they go in and read the files that's there. Because a lot of times, there's extensive history. It might be a brand new case that's not ever been before the court before, but a lot of times there is a history. And if we don't do that, nobody gets that information. And what we find is that a lot of times, this was going on 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and it's still happening. And nothing has ever changed. And the court needs to know that, because that's information they need to have when they make decisions about these kids. And the CASA stays with that child until the child finds a permanent safe home, whether that's going back home, or that's adoption, or whatever. And we just finished a case here in Lincoln County that a CASA volunteer was on for 10 years.
Wow.
And it ended up age is almost, I get goosebumps. Every time I say that, I get goosebumps because that's almost unheard of. A child gets to that age and he gets adopted. And she stayed, he was all over the state. I'll have to count out sometime how many foster homes he was in, how many schools he was in, how many therapists he had, how many social workers he had through those 10 years. But he had one CASA, and that makes a difference. So that's what that's what CASA volunteers do. And it's a great program. Our program's been in existence since '94. We expanded into Lincoln County, probably in the late 90s, I suppose. I don't remember just exactly when. But
Could you
we,
tell us maybe, I mean, are we in need of,
yes,
in Lincoln County?
Yes.
Okay, so how do we promote that, or how do we?
that's a good question. I mean, anytime you can get us up here to speak to groups. I've been up here and have spoken to, I think it's Rotary. They meet at noon. Is it Rotary or the Chamber? I don't know.
Chamber.
Chamber meet at noon. I've been up here several times to talk to them. I've not been successful in getting into groups like church groups or
Yeah.
women's clubs, things like that. And that's what it takes. But I've not been successful. I need help in that. And what we really would love to have is a board member from Lincoln County. Because we want board members from because we are a nonprofit. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. We have board that governs our program. And if we could get a board member from Lincoln, that would help us because they would know their community, they would know what resources are up here, that type of thing. It would be
How-
really helpful.
Often and when and where do you meet?
We meet monthly. It's the third Wednesday of the month at night. We meet from 6 to 8, 6:30 to 8. And the thing is, I would be
Is that in
willing,
Salina?
in Concordia,
Concordia?
yeah. Lincoln is, Debbie's poaching. I'm gonna have to give her a headphone now. I will be speaking to my
I
daughter.
applied to Concordia, okay, and then they took me over there because they needed so many folks. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'll have a talk with her. But anyway, she is my daughter and she runs the Salina one, but we're up Concordia. Lincoln is in the 12th Judicial District,
Yeah,
which is the district we
Okay.
cover. And, but I would even be willing to have a board member participate by computer. Interact, the,
Yeah. Skype or
Team
something
View or
like
Skype,
that.
yeah,
FaceTime.
I can't, yeah.
Mhm.
Because if the distance was too much, but desperately, we would love to have somebody from up here. So, yeah, anytime I can talk to any group, I come.
Do you have a card? Or, I know, I left mine in my car, but I might have some contacts for you. We can talk later.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. That would be amazing, yeah. Because it's our last stronghold, our last one to make that kind of a presence. We just don't have a presence here, and I don't have, but I will write on the back of this card. I need to print new ones. So we just changed our email addresses that I have not printed out.
That's okay. We'll get in
I can
touch.
get
I'm gonna give it this.
Oddly enough.
Are you guys okay with
Sure,
this? Are we
absolutely.
proclaiming this month? So, I move to adopt the CASA proclamation. Is this for March or April though?
It's for
Oh, April, okay.
April.
Therefore, we Commissioners of Lincoln County do hereby proclaim April as a Child Abuse Prevention Month and recognize the important role CASA volunteers have in advocating for the best interests of abused and neglected children in Lincoln County, Kansas.
I'll second.
Moved and second, is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
And is it okay if we have some signs to plant out here or
Sure.
out here in the yards? Okay, we will do that before we leave. We'll get our proclamation. Did you guys want a copy of the proclamation or?
Outbound.
I take a copy of the original, I don't care. We post.
I'll have to go upstairs and make a copy.
Where to go? Which office do I go to?
The clerk's office. Yes, thank you.
Actually, we just have been requested on a couple of cases over here, and we're hoping to get the new one everyone's trained and we'll probably assign them up here, so. Judge Grace has been really supportive, and you have a good judge up here, I'll tell you what. I knew him when he was the county attorney in Belleville, and when I heard he was up here, he is a good judge. He runs a very dignified and a good courtroom. And I go to five different courts in the district, so I'm basing that off of what I see in other counties too, so he's very good. Well, we'll get out of your hair, then unless you have any questions for us, we'll go.
All right, thank you.
Signs.
Thank you.
very
Thank you.
much.
We take care of the minutes while we're waiting here.
Were we given any kind of time frame on purchasing the chip spreader, if they were going to fix it themselves, or did they?
No,
I don't
we didn't
remember
have,
them saying.
we didn't have
No,
time.
they didn't have time. They said, I think he said it wouldn't take much to fix it, they didn't think so. I don't remember him giving it time.
Another reason to go with that green machine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We won't use it probably till July or August.
Just look it up.
I move to approve the minutes from March 20th, 2017. I don't see any issues that need.
I was like,
Been moved and second to approve the minutes. Last meeting, questions?
I guess the one correction that maybe should be made. I oppose the adjournment. Are you putting in opposition votes, or, I mean, I guess.
I didn't even really hear that it was voted
I
on, so,
didn't either.
um,
I didn't hear you look.
I did. I heard it again.
I mean, I guess I'm putting
I
it
can
under
add it.
discussion, I'm just putting it under discussion because I don't know, technically, I guess a motion and a second would carry no matter what in this meeting, but I did have an opposition, but.
I didn't hear you
You
say
put her
nay,
in
so,
a nay vote.
Yeah, just add that in there.
I can.
I'll vote on it.
I would second.
Any other? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I would like to know what we can do about the minutes though, because with them being printed in the paper, it's like it doesn't, every time the paper prints on a Wednesday, if you read it on Wednesday and it comes out, the meeting has already happened on Monday that it's announcing the next meeting for. So, how can we get that a little more up to speed?
I'm not sure.
I'm saying saying on Wednesday, when this Wednesday's paper comes out, and today's the 27th, it's going to say in the minutes, the next meeting will be scheduled on March 27th, but when you're reading it, March 27th was already on Monday. You see what I'm saying?
John chooses to just print what I send him. We can ask him to strike that next meeting date out. But there's really no control over identifying, I mean, unless you wanna list what your future meetings are,
No, I guess.
for the upcoming month. But there's no control over that with the newspaper unless we would ask him to strike out that part.
No, all I'm saying is either, if we're gonna send him the non-corrected version anyhow, can't it just be sent right away before, if we're not correcting him till the next meeting, but even when we do correct them, he's always printing the uncorrected version. So if he's printing the non-corrected, unapproved, I should call it, unapproved,
Oh, I
maybe we
thought-
should,
Are you saying you want me to do minutes on Tuesday and send to him to print on Wednesday? It won't ever happen, if that's what you mean. Is that what you mean? Like, you don't want me to submit this week's minutes to
or
him
yeah,
to
or
print?
today or whatever.
No, it can't, it won't happen.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna do the minutes first, so we could get the corrected minutes in the paper.
And, it's up to him what he does, but yeah, I can send it down. There's just no guarantees. Depends on his staffing level, and that's his operation, not mine. But I can tell you that there's no way, because we would not meet his deadline, number one, and number two, I would not feel comfortable typing and sending up minutes to be printed that you guys had not even approved, because technically, yes, I am sending him the unofficial minutes, but by the time that they're approved. By the time he goes to
But the last 3
print.
weeks in the paper, they've been printed, when there have been corrections, because there haven't been many corrections since the beginning of the year, but these last couple weeks there were corrections, he's still printing the unapproved.
And,
But we
and
do-
last week's was because I didn't send, or I shouldn't say last week's, but the week before was because I didn't send it down. Because no offense, by the time you guys get done here at 1 o'clock, this is not my only job. I get upstairs, I have to answer phone calls, I have to answer questions, I get a lunch, I'm sorry. And by the time that I actually got down to working on it, it was 3 or 3:30. It's too late by then to send them. Unless you want to talk to John about his printing policies and then that's up to you guys, because he's just printing them. They could send a reporter here.
Yeah, that ad that we ran last week in the newspaper on the school bond, that had to be finalized like at 1 o'clock Monday afternoon to
Monday,
get printed for
yeah, for the
Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah.
And normally they hold a spot for the minutes, because I haven't been getting them down there until Saturday. But normally they like to paste them in, but if they have other things that they're trying to get done, it puts undue. And normally what I'll do is I'll call and say I have corrected minutes, they'll say send them, and we'll try to get them in. And it just kinda depends on what they have time for. And I know that sometimes on Tuesday they're still working on the paper, it just kind of depends. But that's his operation and not mine. But I am telling you, physically, it is not possible for me to get minutes done
Yeah,
the same
on
day.
Monday,
It's
yeah.
just not.
Kenny, did you have something real quick, or?
I just need a permit to cross the county
Oh, okay.
board. So,
Can you talk to Michael?
no, I have.
Don, do you have the permits to Brandon Road?
I have a form that I have sent Susan Wallison before, but I don't know how. Did Michael not give you?
I haven't talked to him, I didn't know I needed to talk
Okay.
to him over it.
There's a form that they have you fill out and sign.
Okay.
But I can actually print it and then,
It shouldn't be a problem, if you're boring it, but we do require it.
let's see here.
Did you have a comment?
I have a comment about the minutes, back to the minutes. Could a statement be made in the minutes that these are not the official corrected minutes when you send that over?
He knows that they're unofficial, but normally they're approved on Monday, so they would be official. It's just a matter of the correction part of it. But technically,
Well, they're not official till they're corrected. Are you saying the minutes are official when they haven't been corrected?
I'm just saying that the newspaper believes that after Monday, that they, are approved. And so, but we can ask him to put in an official statement if,
Yeah, because his title is always from the record, as if
I don't know
that
what his
is
title is,
from
I
the
don't look
record.
at it. Again, it's their policies, not mine.
Do I just need to get with you afterwards, or?
I was searching really quick, cause I know I've emailed that to Susan Wallace before. But I can, I'll print it upstairs if you wanna stop at the clerk's office
Okay.
and tell them that Dawn's printed something for you. And then, if you want a fillable version of it, just have them write down your email, or if you want the email to you. But if you wanna fill it out,
Just give it to them.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And Michael will be here at 11, so if you wanna leave it, I mean, it's up to you.
Okay.
If you know,
Or I can
she'll
stay
talk
and
to
talk
him.
to them. So they'll have this.
I just sent it there.
Okay, thanks.
I'll do it again just in case.
So when you guys changed the time frame on the schedule to 8 o'clock start time, how, do you, okay, so like right now typically you're putting adjournment at 2 p.m. What is it after, what is it once you start at 8?
Yeah, normally we're
Usually
done
8
by
to
12.
4
Normally,
hours.
normally.
Usually 4 hours.
It depends, you know, what's going on. Sometimes we'll go into the afternoon, but
Have you considered the old business, new business format? I mean, I understand we can still schedule people at a time because of when they need to know that they're coming in and being able to speak, but
my only concern is that if we do like old business, we're gonna do it for everybody that comes in, or how are we gonna discuss the old business if that person that's involved in the discussion isn't here?
Well, typically, what you do under an old business is you would already have your agenda to say these are the items under old business. And you may even have your items under your agenda for new business already listed. But if someone came in, say they came in the beginning of the meeting, parliamentary procedure, they would say, you know, could you make an amendment to the agenda for me? And then we would, or if we only have 2 items under old business, then yes, possibly we would put them in. If not, we would have to turn them down.
Well, what I'm talking about is, let's say we started old business here,
Uh-huh.
and that old business concerned Michael, who doesn't come in until 11, I believe it says, I can't see it for sure.
Yeah, he's at 11. Mhm.
That's my concern. You know, if we discuss old business that he's involved in, he's not gonna be here.
Well,
We
if
can't
he's
expect
going
him
to,
be here
if
all
he,
day long.
right, but if he's going to continue to hold this time slot, I
He
think,
actually moves to 9 o'clock.
he moves to 9 o'clock when the hours change?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So when that time change happens, you know, technically if we were discussing old business and he came in after that, we could bring it up then. Or we discuss it with him and then we leave it off of the old business schedule. I mean, those kind of things, I think if you know that he's going to be here on a regular basis, that wouldn't necessarily affect it.
Morning, Mike.
Morning.
Hello.
morning.
You're up.
I'm up. Hey, Don.
You would request that we go into executive session?
On personnel,
No, it's for the purpose of discussing a, resident of a public institution.
Okay.
I would move, how long do we need?
I would say 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Move to go into executive session, 10 minutes.
Do I have a second?
Is that one of a resident
Um,
of public institution?
Yeah,
For
it's
privacy issues, for
options number 5.
personal privacy. I'll second.
Moved and second to go into executive session for 10 minutes. Do you want to do it down here, Don? or-
We
That's
go
up
up.
to you guys.
We go up, and you guys can stay here.
We'll go up to the office.
What time does that put us back in here?
Depends on when we start up there.
When we start up there, it's 10:30 now, so I would say 10:31 to 10.
Okay.
Probably what we should do is recess, and then you'll need to
Yeah. We'll
recess at
recess.
10:30, and then you guys can move and approve it.